Hi guys, welcome to my channel. And this was the trade I took on 7th, that's on Friday last week. And I'd like to explain what I was looking at that made me take this trade. So let me go to the daily chart because that's where I start my analysis from. Alright, so I'll be looking at the previous day high and low. That's what I do every day. So since we're looking at on Friday, so I'll be looking at the high and low of the previous day, which is Thursday on the 6th of November. I'm going to call that previous day high and this previous day low because those are very important liquidity points and you want to be watching those points. That's the first two things I'll mark, and then I'll go into my 15 minutes time frame. Let's go. Alright, let me adjust this so you can match the high. This is the highest high on the 6th, which is Thursday, the previous day. So I've marked those high. What I'll be looking at is what we have above and what we have below. So I'll be marking midnight open of New York midnight open. Midnight open, yeah. So I'll be looking at that level. I'll also be looking at the 9:30 open. When the market open in New York 9:30, I'll mark that point because that point is also very, very important. Now, usually, if price runs up at first at the open, I'm usually expecting it to run up and take buy side and then go back down. Why if it runs down, the first thing I'm looking at is for it to take sell side and then runs back up. Like I'm always expecting price to first of all take the liquidity of the direction it will be going against. But that's not always the case. That's why you have to still be watching price. So the next time frame I'll go to is the 5 minutes. So the 5 minutes time frame. At the time when the market opened, we were here. This is very point. That's where the 9:30 market opened, where I will start looking for the liquidity the market wants to take. I'll be looking at this point and also this point. And I'll just put it like this because I don't want to give it any name that would cause any expectations. You can see price took that and closed below it very hard, went down, and this very point, this is where I was expecting price to from this point go up and take liquidity here. That was what I was expecting. I called it buy side liquidity because at this point I was already seeing this as sell side. I was seeing it like price was taking this and rejected it. So after doing this, what I do, I go to 1 minute. But after seeing this right here, alright. So at this point, this is where I start to look for the 2022 ICT model entry. So this fair value gap was very important. Very important fair value gap. I was expecting price to go into it before going for that buy side because we have taken this, we have broken this structure. I was expecting price to come there before going down, but price didn't enter there. Instead, it ran to take this high, which I normally call minor buy side. Minor buy sides, that's not Yeah, I'm expecting price to go beyond that, but sometimes that could be the buy side of price wants to take and go in the opposite direction. So at this point, price took that and then started breaking down. See this strong close below this low. That was something I wasn't expecting. Well, after seeing that, when I saw this gap in these two, I was no longer very confident about it going back up, so I had to wait. And I was not going to sell short yet because that could still turn back down. That could still keep going up. So all I had to do was I waited. I want to see if it could take this high. Alright, so I was waiting for it to take this high, confirm that it wanted to truly keep going high, but then price broke down and it wasn't even closing above this reclaimed fair value gap. Immediately I saw this candle. This low became my point of interest. It became the point where I was looking at price to break. So immediately I saw price heading to break that, I immediately knew we were going to use this as the buy side. At this point, it was no longer considered minor buy side. It was now considered the actual buy side, and this had to raise that. And then this became minor sell side. Because if price wanted to respect this as sell side liquidity taken, it wouldn't have broken this. So that became our minor sell side. So I was just waiting for price to break this for me to enter. So I set my entry at that very candle's low. That's where I set my entry with my stop at this high. Because price was unable to go and take this, it broke down, used this as a reclaimed bearish fair value gap, and that was my entry. And I usually target my first partial target 2R. After taking my first partial 2R, I take my second partial, my terminus is 3R. So that was how I was able to catch this move. Simply by looking at how price was trading highs and fair value gaps. That was how I was able to get that trade for on the 7th.